Hi everyone, Rachel from North Brisbane Psychologists. So I am challenging myself tonight to see if I can explain to you my theory of everything with regards to emotional intelligence in about 5 minutes flat. This is pretty high level. What I want to talk about is the different forces that act upon our emotions. And I literally want to try and give you my theory of everything, which will help with self-awareness when it comes to difficult feelings and emotions and emotional pain, and will require some self-awareness to use it. So sometimes this comes up in my sessions when people come to me with really difficult anxiety, debilitating anxiety, or they're struggling with sort of chronic low-level depression. This particularly applies to anxiety and depression, but also stress, all of which are inside us. You know, we tend to think of stress as being out there, but what's out there, as you know, are just the triggers. The stress is in our mind and in our body. Same for anxiety and depression. Okay, so this is my theory of everything. I've just written it down on the back of my lemon garlic chicken roast recipe. Upside down, Miss Jane. There we go. So this is it. This is what I sometimes explain to clients when I think it'll help them. So in this middle layer here, we have emotions and emotional pain, our feelings. So feelings such as anxiety, feelings that are in our body as well as in our mind. Now there's different forces that act on our feelings, different forces that create our feelings. So at the top here, we've got thoughts and perceptions. We all know that thinking certain thoughts affects how we feel. So this is why I've got a bidirectional arrow here between emotional feelings and thoughts and perceptions, because we also know that story follows state. So when I've been triggered into an anxious state or a fearful state or some sort of physical and emotional state that is uncomfortable or distressing, my mind quickly follows. The story in my mind quickly turns more negative, more catastrophic, more unhelpful. So feelings and thoughts, thinking, perceptions, and emotions and feelings definitely are like chicken and egg situation. But there is another force or another factor that influences or impacts on our emotional feelings. And this is the one that sometimes is missed in traditional cognitive behavior therapy. And that is our underlying needs and values. So our emotions can be data for what it is we're needing or caring about. In other words, our values. These feelings that we have in our bodies can tell us that we want something or we care about something and we're not getting it. It's not happening. You know, when I feel hurt, it might be because I want acknowledgement or appreciation. When I feel exhausted, it might be because I need rest and sleep. When I feel overwhelmed, it might mean that I need space or I need more understanding or I need rest or sleep. But our feelings are data. They tell us about our needs. So when we can identify our needs, sometimes I talk about values, I can help people make sense of their emotions, you know, because our unmet needs or our unsupported or unfulfilled values definitely give rise to these emotions, these feelings. So you can see that it's a complex picture with different forces, and that our feelings are being impacted not only by our mind and our thoughts and our perceptions, but our deeper underlying core universal human needs and our core values. So a lot of the work of therapy involves, well, almost all the work of therapy involves looking at yourself at these different levels. Yes, definitely looking at your thinking style and trying to identify thinking patterns and unconscious core beliefs and perceptions, because all of that, of course, affects our lives. And we learned a lot of that stuff earlier in our lives, in childhood or adolescence. Giving people the vocabulary and the skills to recognize and express emotions is another part of what we do in therapy. And discussing and identifying underlying needs, getting clear about our values and how we want to meet our needs and fulfill our values or live by our values is another important part of the work of therapy and personal development. So this is my roughly drawn out theory of everything when it comes to emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and the relationships between these different levels of our inner experience. I'd love to know in the comments below whether you think you've got a better handle on knowing your mind and your thoughts, knowing your emotions and your feelings, or knowing what your needs and values are. And my guess would be that if you are pretty clear on what your emotions are and what your needs and values are, you know that those two go together. Well, all three of them go together, as you can see. So would love your comments in the section below or any questions, and I hope this has been helpful. And I did it in 6 minutes, and now I'm going to go and make my lemon garlic chicken roast. Okay, till next time. Bye for now.